So I'm still getting to know milkweed and how to best process them and when to pick them. But I'm finding right now it's October, late October in southern Maine, and they are dropping their leaves, which is great. And the ones I'm picking, I'm trying to find ones that don't have pods just because I want those to go to seed. And the less black, the better. These ones are already a little bit far along. I'm finding that this part is harder to peel, and it's already started to rot a little bit farther than I want to get the fibers easily. Yesterday, the more green I could find, they were peeling beautifully, both the skin off the stalk and then the white fiber off the inside of the skin. But I'm gonna look around. There's some by the house that are more green, but we'll try these ones too and see how they work. So I found two that were really, really green all the way to the bottom. And then I've got two here that have started to go by a little bit. So we'll see how they behave, if they behave differently. And you can do this part however you're comfortable doing. I want to get the skin, the green skin off. I just broke it. And the fibers we're looking for are mostly on the inside of that beautiful thick green skin. And you can see some of them are already coming off of there. It's a kind of a balance between waiting long enough for the stalks to really ripen and the fibers to become strong, and waiting so long that the skin starts to die back and kind of hang on tighter, and like the glues and starches that hold the fibers together kind of rot away. So this one's nice. It's really feathery. There's a little bit of stuff, the green still holding them together, but I'm not super concerned about that. When it dries, I'll probably use my thumbnail and just scrape away at some of that, or it'll be easier to get it off when I separate those fibers to make the thread, or it might not be a big deal at all, so I'm not gonna fuss with it. Trying to scrape that out sometimes breaks that fiber, and if you want them to be long, then you sacrifice a little bit of that. This one's nice. It's kind of almost doing itself here, so I'm just getting that fleshy part off, but trying to leave as much of the white fiber intact. It's nice when the skin kind of snaps and pops, because then you can get a fresh handle on some of that. Another way, you can twist it. And oops, that one didn't work. We'll try that again with a different one. Sometimes you can twist it and it'll reveal the white fiber. You can kind of peel it off the skin that way. But yesterday I was finding that worked really well on the stalks that had gone by a little bit already and just weren't, like this green part was really soft, and it comes off funny, so sometimes I'll go back to the same part of the skin that I've peeled a bunch of long fibers off, and there's still some pretty nice shorter ones, so it just depends on how much material you have to process and how much time you want to spend doing it. But it's so pretty. And it's kind of like a floss, so it'll make a really nice cord. You can make it as fine, like thread almost, if you want to, or you can make a cord that's thicker. It's pretty flexible. Oop, that's pretty nice there. And that looks really good. There's going to be fibers still on there, and some of them are really short, and some of them just aren't. Like, you can see them, but there's not much there. But it's kind of fun how they keep appearing. This one's kind of more stuck on, but we'll see. And pull some of that out. Ultimately, I found that soaking didn't seem to help with this part. Like, when it does that still, it's just like a little ripe still, or it still needs to kind of dry out a little bit. But the fibers are so pretty. And I can use my thumbnail to kind of scrape some of that away. And the rest I'll fuss with when the fiber dries out a little bit. But again, like, that's nice. Those are really nice long fibers. And if I wait until they're dry in the winter, it's really hard to get those out, and it's almost better to make the cord kind of including that outer skin, which is going to get kind of thin and papery and turn black. So it's a little chunkier, but it allows you to kind of maintain the length of the fiber. Otherwise, they just come off in little chunks. I'm going to let that dry and see if I can get the green part off when it's dry instead of fussing with it now. I want to get as much off of that as I can, and that's just a me thing. So I'm breaking the kind of the once peeled skin in into smaller sections just to see if I can get a good run of that fiber again. And sometimes there's more there than I think, and sometimes it's just a tiny little bit. But again, since this is kind of more like working with a floss or hair, it doesn't matter that some of them are short, because you can kind of work them in with the longer ones while you're making cord if you want to. If I had a whole farm field full of milkweed stalks, I might not bother, but I'm here and they're here, and they're just so pretty. Those guys are kind of short. So let's see. So all of that is about one stalk that looks like to be about a yard. It was about 3 feet tall, and it's just so pretty. There's a little bit more of the skin still on the stalk, and sometimes you'll see that there's pieces still stuck onto the stalk. You can kind of fuss around and play with that if you want to, but usually they're pretty short. But there's a lot of fiber left on there. I haven't tried, because I always feel like, well, they gave me all of this, I don't really want to ask them for more, but you could see if this dried up made good fire starting material too, because it is really feathery with the hairs that are left, or the pieces of that fiber that are still left on there. Okay, I just can't get started at that node. Oops. And the nodes often are the places where the skin will break, just like when you're peeling bark for baskets and stuff. That's okay. This one has been really nice. This was that more green all the way to the bottom. No black spots yet on the skin at all. And it's really easy to work with.